Hi, it's Lindsay Carlson here. A few months ago, I did a review and an unboxing for the Paramount Scares collection, Volume 1, and now, at long last, I've actually been able to pick up the second volume because Amazon had a pretty good sale on it. So what we're looking at today is Paramount Scares Volume 2. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. There's our close-up with elements from the 4 films included here. Top of the box, bottom of the box. Side of the box has the Paramount Scares logo. Same deal with the other side. Here's the backing card, which pictures the 4 films. We get Friday the 13th Part 2, Orphan First Kill, Breakdown, and World War Z. And then here's underneath the backing card. Let's open this up. We do get individual digital codes for the 4 films. Similar to Volume 1, we do get a Fangoria magazine exclusive to this set, which features some reprinted and original articles. Fangoria, of course, is a really famous horror movie magazine that's been around for decades. I'm not going to show up every single page in here, but there is some cool stuff, and if you're a fan, you'll definitely want to take the time to read these articles. We also get a poster. As with Volume 1, I do wish the packaging was a little more shelf-friendly. As far as swag in the box goes, we get some iron-on patches. I actually made a horror movie battle jacket a few months ago. Wish I'd had these then. We get a Paramount Scares pin. We get this nice big domed sticker. And then we have our 4 films. Each one of the films in this set has an exclusive slipcover. They have photos of an element from the film and then a quote on the back. So we'll start off with Friday the 13th Part 2. So right there we have an axe. There's our slipcovers. Got the quote on the back. You're all doomed. You're all doomed. Underneath the slipcover. And each disc in this set has the movies on 4K and Blu-ray. Paramount Scares Volume 1 had Blu-rays for some of the films, but some of them are missing them. All 4 movies in this set do have Blu-ray copies, thankfully. Friday the 13th Part 2, of course, is the second film in the Friday the 13th series, and it's the first movie in the series in which Jason Voorhees emerges from the shadows and becomes the killer. A group of counselors 5 years after the events of the first film are congregated at a nearby camp, but it's not long before Jason resurfaces and begins his bloody rampage. This isn't a bad sequel, and of course it set the template for things going forward with Jason being the killer, although he wouldn't get his signature hockey mask until the 3rd film. Second film in the set is Breakdown, this being an action suspense thriller starring Kurt Russell. Here's our artwork under the slipcover and our 2 discs. This one revolves around Kurt Russell playing a man who's moving with his wife to the other end of the country to start a new job, but his wife ends up going missing after hitching a ride with a trucker when his car breaks down on him, and he has to go on a journey to try to get his wife back, find what clues he has, and of course finds himself under the gazing eye of a group of criminals who may be up to a lot more than meets the eye. This one I'd never seen prior to picking up this set, but I have to say this is a pretty surprising, pretty suspenseful thriller, and it did pleasantly surprise me. There are some great performances in this one, including Russell playing more of an everyman role than the tough guys you might be used to seeing him play on the big screen. Third film in the set we get is World War Z. Mother Nature is a serial killer. No one's better or more creative. And there's our spine text for this one. Cover art featuring Brad Pitt, who plays our hero. And our discs. And World War Z is set in a world where there is a zombie outbreak going on, and Brad Pitt's character, who's a family man who started a job, finds himself thrust back into the fray when he has to do what's necessary to keep his family safe and try to keep this outbreak from growing. Of course, as you may expect, things certainly go wrong, and there's plenty of carnage along the way. This one, again, I'd never actually seen before prior to getting this set, but I had read about it a lot, was certainly curious, and I have to say, for the most part, the movie actually doesn't disappoint. It's action-packed, but it does try to be a little more cerebral and human at times, which is a welcome change. The 4K disc includes the theatrical cut of the movie, although the included Blu-ray disc does include an extended unrated cut. The 4th and final film in this set is Orphan First Kill. And the quote on the back here is, "What are my plans, mommy?" There's our cover art underneath the slipcover. There's our discs. Orphan First Kill is a prequel to the film Orphan, which features our antagonist Esther impersonating a missing child who manages to get out of Europe, hitch a flight to the United States, and set a scheme into motion. But of course, along the way, there's plenty of twists and turns, and it quickly becomes a violent bloodbath that no one in the States is expecting. I'd never actually even seen the first Orphan film, but I was intrigued by the plot of this one, and I have to say, it actually does have some very interesting, very suspenseful moments. Although I have to say, I think about halfway through the movie, they throw in a few too many plot twists, and those really work more against the movie than in its favor. There are definitely some good films in this set, but I have to say, some of the choices are a little unusual this time around. It seems strange that in the case of Friday the 13th and Orphan, they wouldn't put the first films in here, which are certainly more iconic. And then, Breakdown is not a horror film at all. It's certainly a thriller that has its share of action and violence, but I wouldn't in any way call it a horror movie. One other disappointment is we only get 4 films in this set instead of 5 movies that we got in the first set. I mean, I don't see why Paramount could have thrown in one more movie just to make it the same number. I mean, even if they just threw in the existing 4K of A Quiet Place, I think that would have been a great inclusion here. In the case of Part 2, none of these movies are actually available on 4K separately in the United States. The only exception being World War Z, which had previously gotten a 4K release from Shout Factory. But if you want to get these other movies in 4K in America, right now this is the only option you have. So I have to say, if you can get this one for a low price, there are some good movies in here, and it's quite entertaining. Some of the choices of movies are a bit questionable, but as far as picture quality goes, the 2 movies that are native 4K, Breakdown and Friday the 13th Part 2, actually look quite good with a pretty vibrant color palette and deep dark black levels when they're needed. Orphan First Kill and World War Z are upscales. They both look a little on the drab side, and they're not massive improvements over their 1080p counterparts, but you at least get some slight gains from those. It's just not going to be quite as noticeable as something that's native 4K. And a lot of the movies, of course, have their respective bonus features, many of which come from the older releases. I don't know if any of the bonus features in this set are actually newly created for the discs that are in this set, but there is at least plenty to watch if you are a fan for most of the movies. From what I can tell, Orphan First Kill doesn't have any bonus features, but again, there's at least some stuff here for the other movies if you are a fan. So if you find this one on a good price on a site like Amazon, I think I paid about $42 before tax for this, which comes down to maybe about $11 a movie, and that's not half bad. If you find it for a good price, I definitely recommend picking it up and adding it to your collection. Because again, the movies in here, for the most part, you can't get on 4K outside of this set in the United States. How about you? Are you collecting these Paramount Scares set? What do you think of the movies that are included in Volume 2? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Timothy Carlson. I'll see you next time.